like the updates have just been a lot. Well, in 2020, we did get a new look for the iPhone with Apple squaring off the edges. It still just kind of looked like the same notch device that Apple had unveiled about 3 years earlier. And in 2023, the iPhone 15 made the edges more rounded, but it was just an iPhone 12 that felt a little bit different. So what is Apple doing for the next iPhone? Well, I'm super excited to tell you that after all this time, Apple is planning one of these big updates again, and I want to show it to you now. Introducing the iPhone 17 Air, Apple's newest ultra premium model that is their latest vision for what a mobile phone can be. They are once again changing the design, the display, the cameras, and so much more about this phone in a bigger way than they've done in the past 8 years, and I could not be more excited. So let me show you. Okay, first I want to give you a closer look at the entirely new design. As Apple has had one goal for this phone above everything else, and that is to apparently make it as thin as possible. Specifically, one rumor in particular says that the iPhone 17 Air will be as thin as the iPhone 6, which I have not is actually extremely impressive that Apple already did this 10 years ago. Honestly, just holding the iPhone 6 in your hand, this form factor still feels insane today. The challenge for Apple will be to build in all the modern amenities and features of the current iPhone and slim it down into something that is like a third to 50% bigger than the current model, which would be really hard. So how exactly is that? Well, apparently it's starting with Apple introducing a new combination material to make the chassis out of. The sources say it is going to be a combo titanium aluminum design. Essentially, it sounds like Apple is combining the strength and the durability of titanium from their Pro models with the lightweight qualities of aluminum from their cheaper units. Basically, combining the two to keep the premium feel of the iPhone while also making it way lighter. Listen, I know this looks crazy, but this is what every credible source is reporting. Not to mention that Apple is clearly becoming interested in making the devices as thin as possible again. Apple touted the M4 iPad Pro not only as the thinnest iPad ever, but as the thinnest Apple product ever made. And in all the marketing for the newest Apple Watch Series 10, they've also been promoting how they were able to shave down the thickness. With that in mind, it makes perfect sense that Apple now wants to make the iPhone as thin as possible. Basically, from every angle, the iPhone 17 is going to look better, especially when it's sitting on my brand new desk setup that I rebuilt from the ground up thanks to Vernal that sponsored today's video. If there was such a thing as the Apple desk, I feel like this is as close as you're going to get, and I was able to do the entire setup process from no desk to an entire desk in under 30 minutes. And during assembly, you really get a sense for how high quality and well built everything is. From the beautiful bamboo top that I selected, from the wings that go up a crazy height while still remaining incredibly stable. I mean, I'm 6'2", so it has always been a struggle to find a desk that is actually comfortable for my height. This has versatility for people ranging from 4'9" all the way up to 6'7". The height controller supports 4 different memory positions, and it raises and lowers faster than any other standing desk I've ever used. I don't know how they've done this. Plus, it has an insane weight rating up to 350 pounds, which is more than 2 of myself on here, or way more than you would ever need for all the equipment you're gonna load up with. And Vernal is so confident in the product that there is a 15-year warranty. Okay, well, let me show you my favorite part about this desk. It's the setup-in-one accessories system, which they have developed to be a modular way to adjust your desk and customize it at any time. For example, they sent me this really cool desk shelving center that you can put on the left or right side of your workstation now. The keyboard tray that I have underneath, and even a shelf to put all of everything on top of the desk. And that's just a taste of the 8 different setup-in-one accessories that have been made to fit different workflows so that you can build the perfect space. Plus, the wood of the cabinet and desktops are matched to create a unified aesthetic workspace. Vernal has a great Black Friday sale happening right now with 50% off site-wide. Plus, if you use my link down below in the description, you can add an extra 6% off on top of that. It's absolutely a ridiculous value for what you are getting with this desk, and I just love it. Okay, thanks to Vernal for sponsoring this one. Now let's see what else is changing with the iPhone 17. Now, so far, we've only taken a look at the general aesthetic of the iPhone 17 Air, but keep in mind, Apple is also changing every other part of this phone too. It's not just the bonus that are everything else is the same. Like the screen on here is going to be a new size that Apple has never done before. We're hearing it's going to be a roughly 6.6-inch display, which would sit right in between Apple's largest Pro Max iPhone and the smallest regular Pro phone. size as it is currently, a few rumors are suggesting that it actually gets smaller, as in 2025 Apple could potentially put the Face ID scanner under the display, so you would just be left with the single hole cutout for the selfie cam, which to me makes a ton of sense because the front-facing camera is getting its biggest upgrade ever. Apple is doubling the megapixel count from 12 to 24 megapixels on the 17 Air, so front-facing photos and videos are going to look insane. But that's not the only insane camera change that Apple is making. There's actually a way more dramatic one on the back you might have already noticed. Yeah, according to multiple sources, the iPhone 17 Air is just going to have one single camera on the back, even though it will be situated as Apple's most premium model. See, I think this is one of the points where you start to see the limitations of how thin you can make a phone for what you want to include. Plus, to be fair, this single camera on the iPhone 17 Air is still going to be the best single camera Apple has ever put on a phone. A wide-angle lens with a 48 megapixel sensor, and with that you'll be getting the 2x telephoto sensor crop-in that is available on all iPhone 16s. Interestingly though, we don't exactly know where Apple is going to put the camera system. Like in all of our renders, we showcase it up in the back of the phone at the very top left-hand corner, just because that has been the default placement for all of Apple's cameras on the iPhone since the original iPhone in 2007. But according to one source, Apple's also testing a new top center position where the camera would be moved for the first time on the iPhone, which could make sense for a redesign as big as this one. Ultimately though, it's just too early, and we'll have more details on the camera in the coming months. So make sure you hit the subscribe button in case you haven't already. Although, let me just take a step back for a second to clarify that the iPhone 17 Air is only one of 4 new iPhone 17 models that Apple is releasing in 2025. They're not eliminating the rest of the lineup, they're just replacing one model with the 17 Air. Per usual, Apple's going to be releasing a lower-end iPhone 17 model that starts at around $800, as well as more premium Pro and Pro Max models that are a bit larger. There's only one iPhone model going away in 2025, and that is the plus-sized regular model. Apple is just not releasing great success with this unit. It's the 6.7-inch one, priced at about $900. Over the years, the plus-sized iPhone hasn't been a great seller for Apple, only accounting in total for about 5 to 10% of iPhone sales annually. So Apple's been on the search for a new type of fourth iPhone model that would be more compelling. And I have to say, looking at the iPhone 17 Air in total, I think they're going to do it. But here's the most interesting thing about the iPhone 17 Air to me. It's not just the exterior that is getting a radical redesign, it's also pretty much everything on the inside of the phone too. Because we're hearing that the iPhone 17 Air is going to be Apple's first ever phone to not only include an all-new Apple-designed 5G chip, which would allow them to own that part of the tech stack, in addition to other components of the iPhone like the A19 chip. On top of that, the iPhone 17 Air may also include Apple's first ever Wi-Fi chip. If you're wondering why this is such a big deal, it's because Apple's ultimate goal for the iPhone is to own as many different parts as they possibly can. They started with the chips, but now they're expanding to things like 5G and Wi-Fi. Why does that matter, though? It matters because when Apple has full customization over a component, they can design their hardware in new ways without having to rely on the constraints of somebody else's technology. I mean, we've seen this with Apple Silicon. The Macs are night and day better with their own silicon compared to when they relied on somebody else's. The designs of Macs were just big.